Most welcome to my YouTube lab. My name is Daudi Alaba. If it's your first time you're watching me in the laboratory, this is where we practically share our experience about farming. So today in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some business ideas that you can start from nowhere and then you become progressive in doing business. So the business ideas that we are sharing at this particular moment are generally farming business ideas. Okay, the reasons that I'm sharing them is not really considering how cheap it is to be started. All of them, they have all their buffs, their down and up sides. So it means it is just an idea. The first business idea is poultry farming. Poultry farming is that one thing that anybody can do even if he's not available. I have this farm where most of the times I don't stay here. I came here some 2 days ago and I have never been staying here. I can take like up to 4 months when I'm not around in my farm. So that way poultry farming can be a very lucrative project for anybody to start, especially when you are doing a job. So you can start from at any level. This one is a commercial farm. I didn't start from here. I started by working as a security guard, and then I reached up to selling second-hand clothes. And I came to start by local chicken. I started with 3 hens and 1 cock. And then reaching after 1 year, this is what came up into existence. So it means it can be started by anybody. Now I'm raising in this farm like about 2,200 layers. So it means from that moment, it means we are quite doing well. So that's how I can recommend it. You can start it at any level, whether you are available or you are not available, just having some few knowledge about it and for you to start. So starting is always very, very important. The second business idea that you can consider starting is goat farming. Goat farming is actually rearing goats for commercial base, for commercial purpose. You can raise goats, either local breed or the exotic breed. So we're talking about goat farming. There are some few things that somebody should consider, especially the factors for the production. The first factor for the production is land. We have the capital, the labor, and entrepreneurship. These 4 factors, they are very, very vital for anybody at any business level. So it means for the goat farm, there are some of the factors that applies applicably. Our first point was poultry farming. You see, the plot of land that I'm doing poultry farming is not even up to half an acre. So it means we are able to do up to 2,200 layers in it. But for the goat farm, it may not necessarily be the case. So you don't need only this space for goat farming. You need like a little bit more. So in case you don't have that more, you can start by tethering them. Because you don't have enough land, you can tether them using ropes. You tie them and then you take them for where they can graze, and then you change them to another space when they have already eaten the available vegetation around them. So you can start it at any level with the any number. You can either consider starting with the 1 goat, or maybe if you can manage to have like 1 acre in a vast place whereby you can access the neighboring community, because in my place you can still raise your goats in neighboring communities. So you can start like that, and then you keep the focus, you keep the plan, because the plan must be keeping as many goats as possible. So doing that, and as you are growing, you can keep acquiring more land, and then you keep moving on. And the third point is fish farming. Fish farming is also one of the lucrative fish farm business idea, agribusiness idea that anybody can consider, because fish is almost everybody eats fish, because it doesn't have that food taboo to some culture. So that way, though it is perishable, you know, fish is very perishable. A fresh fish cannot stay on the air for a long period of time unless it is in the fridge or ever. But it can be modified into other forms. You can salt it, and then you can dry it also. When it comes into that form, it can stay for a very long period of time. But the good news is it is always having ready market. The demand is always increasing, because that is all what everybody needs. So you can consider doing fish farming as also crop farming. This one, mostly I don't want to recommend it to anybody because of the weather conditions of my place. This is June in this place here, and it just rained only 3 days ago, because that is how you see some green vegetation growing here. So it rained only 3 days ago. From March, there were some few spells of rain. that rained on March, but up to June, imagine. So if you had planted your crop on that season, it means you would have done loss already. So because of that, it is being one of the riskiest business that somebody can do. But to the good news, we have 2 seasons, especially in Uganda. So on those 2 seasons, it means the first one most of the times it is crappy, and the second one has never disappointed so much. So that way, why I am recommending somebody also to go to crop farming is because what we are doing is poultry farming, and all the farming activities that I'm recommending here, they also need the crop, the crop section of the feed that they also feed in poultry. They eat up to 70% maize. So that maize must come from crops. So anybody who will venture in doing crop farming actually is over advantage, because right now the prices of maize are very, very high. So doing crop farming, you can consider doing maize, you can consider doing vegetable. The last thing that I want to share with you is also pig farming. Though it has cultural bias, as there are some cultures that that don't consume pig products. So to some extent, for us, what we are talking about is business. And I'm talking to somebody who is not among that culture, which does not really enjoy the pork, the product from the pig. So it means if somebody is looking for a business idea, and in case you don't have a lot of money to start anything big, especially if you want to start something which takes a lot of money, it will be like a poultry farming. But if you don't have that much money to start something like poultry farming, you can consider doing pig farming. I also have some few pigs that I keep, but it has not been so expensive to start. You can start with 1 pig, there is no problem. And then reaching like up to 6 months, it has already, like 9 months, it has produced. So that way it will actually increase your persistence, and then the way you also grow your business. So why I ask somebody to do pig farming is actually because most of the people, they don't have a lot of capital to start something. And always starting point is the worst thing to do. Nobody actually, very many people, they will have plans, but to start will be the most difficult part. And why it is like that is because they will always plan things in crazy manner. They will want to start something big just in the beginning, and that one most of the times it is very, very difficult. But it is very important to something from small, because you are still starting, you don't have a lot of money, you are maybe a young person and you are just starting, and you have studied for quite a long period of time without doing anything, which is very, very important to your life. So that way, these are the ideas that I think when you start with, it will keep teaching you, because I don't look at everything like we should just start one thing and then it must be big at the beginning. No way. What we can do is we can start even from nowhere. Maybe your plan is not doing piggery farming. You can start it because it is easy to start, and then it can generate for you money to do whatever that you want to do. Now I want to advise you, there is no way you can start something just like as big as it is. This farm never existed as big as it is right now. It is already big comparing it with where I started it from. So it means I started it from somewhere very small. So this is where it came up to. So persistence and the plan is very, very important. So in case you lack information about them, please stick around in the channel so that you can learn a lot about these things, especially poultry farming. And then I'll be also teaching you about other farmings in case you try to contact me. I have my contacts on the description. You can check it and then you can contact me in the case of anything that you want to share with me. It will be very, very important. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Daudi Alaba. I tell you, it's one of the one solution that Africa needs right now. Before we go to other things, we must make sure that there is food on the table, and then it will motivate us to go to do many more things. So without food on the table, we just be very weak, and we'll be falling something which is already falling. Let us see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.